And it's time now to continue our Working Wednesday coverage, and the mayor of Albuquerque is here, and certainly we appreciate you being with us today, Mayor Chávez.
It's a beautiful day.
All right, and the mayor is here because he's going to tell us more about some relief, perhaps, for young high school students who are coming out looking for a summer job. Tell us about your mayor's initiative.
Well, this is something we started actually at the end of the Clinton administration when they were balancing the budget. Remember, we used to have a balanced budget in Washington, but they were going to cut all the federal monies for summer jobs programs for kids. And so rather than wait around, we started reaching out to the private sector, asking employers, look, hire a teen, 6 weeks, that's all it takes, make a huge difference, and it was a fabulous success. This last year we hired nearly 700 teenagers, almost 100 employers. This year we're shooting for 1,000 teenagers, and it's giving young people their first job experience, and we all remember exactly what our first job was and what we did with that first check.
I never thought that I would be hired again, but it did work out. And are there any restrictions to who could be hired?
Well, we're looking 16 to 18-year-olds. They can get in touch with us through the city's website or just simply call 311. And we need employers as well to step up. What's interesting about this program is the kids go in, they get all kinds of training, how to do a resume, dress for success, how to comport themselves in an interview, and then they're given immediate referrals.
Well, they're not going to make a ton of money probably in these jobs, but it's a wide range of experience they can get with these different companies stepping forward.
Absolutely. It's actually part of the responsibility we all have as grown-ups to train the workforce for the future. But I'll tell you what, when you've never had a job and you get a job and you get that first paycheck, that's a ton of money.
And do people, you mentioned the website and as one place you can go, do they need certain information, Social Security numbers, all of that? I would imagine they need some basic information.
They'll have to give us that information, and certainly employers that put their names in, we do some vetting to make sure that they're good employers. But it could be anything from a career in a law office. And every lawyer in town can afford to hire a teen for just 4 to 6 weeks in the summer. And it's such a formative experience in their young lives. It's part of the solution.
I would think, too, that it keeps the kids busy. It keeps them with a little money and something to do rather than out maybe causing some problems.
Well, and I would, no question about it, and I'd love to do a study looking backwards to see, because I remember my first job, and I can't tell you I put it in the bank or anything. you know, it was a new stereo, actually. But to see how the different kids do depending on what they do with their first checks, because some of them do save it. You know, some go out and buy the car. Who knows?
Absolutely. Now, changing subjects for just a minute, you mentioned something to me during the break about a bond rating for the city. New information on that is out.
The 3 major bond rating firms were in Albuquerque the last month, scouring our books, looking at our practices. We have today the highest bond ratings in the history of the city of Albuquerque. That means that they believe that we're managing the money well. And I do want to commend the Albuquerque City Council. We passed the budget this week. We found compromise in the capital budget, which had been contentious. And I think Wall Street recognizes that good practice. What it means at the end of the day is when we float bonds, as we did this week, we get a lower interest rate. We save money. We saved $500,000 just this week on the interest rates we got on our bonds.
Very good. One final word on the mayor's initiative. What's that website again where people can go?
CABQ.gov, or, this is a hard one to remember, 311. Simply call 311.
Very good. Mayor Chávez, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
All right, final look at